Ladies and gentlemen, how are you? It's good to be back for this Tuesday night. Tuesday night for the late show. I don't know why a alert didn't go out. It should have. The show was made over an hour ago, so hopefully people realize there's a show. Maria, good to see you. Mr. Dan Yee, Gayla's here. I hate mornings. Says there's 50,000 people without power in the Tacoma, Seattle area. Yeah, from that bomb cyclone that's going through your area. It's going to head through the US and head north, I think. Danny, good to see you. I mean, Andrew, not Danny. Danny's here. No, wait, Danny's here. Texas Roadrunner, good to see you. April B, Nina Lana, Marilyn Landis. I'm kind of just letting people get settled and come in before we get started. And it's been a wild day here. We've had so much going on. There's been bloody builders here again. I feel like the builders just live here. I feel like they just live here. We have permanent building going on here. Natasha, good to see you. Marilyn Clausen, good to have you. All right. So you may see the title on the stream, right? There is a woman. I'm not going to use her name because apparently we're not allowed to in Australia or something. But her name is well known. She is I don't know what you want to call it, child / ill kid influencer, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Those TikTok peoples that put their kids on the videos to get more everything. So they were raising money. Apparently, she had this sick little girl, and I've covered her face in the thumbnail too, because to protect the little kid's privacy. I've shown the mom, but not the child. And it's come out that everything she talked about her child being sick was full of crap. The child seems to be fine, and people at the hospital picked up that this person was posting to TikTok. They then started investigating the claims she was making on TikTok and realized they didn't add up to the test results that were coming back on the at the hospital, and they sort of went from there. But they're claiming this could be a diagnosis of Munchausen by proxy. So not super common. You don't see it a ton. We get a few cases a year. It's not it's not super common, not super rare either, but it is very interesting when you see them because we all know of the famous examples that have had movies made and stuff like that. Hopefully this one won't get to the point of some of those. So let me play the video and you guys can hear a little bit more about it.
Breaking video diaries have reached millions online.
My baby girl, she's so little. And she is riddled with tumours. I think she's having seizures.
A Queensland mum opening up on her baby daughter's health journey. Among the 1-year-old's diagnoses she claims are a rare genetic disease and debilitating brain conditions.
Like, Mum, intuition just knew something was wrong. And no one listened to me.
Resulting in lengthy hospital stays and multiple operations. The little girl and her parents put up in the near-capacity Ronald McDonald House.
It's like the worst thing for a parent to know that your baby is sick.
Now, explosive claims on social media that the mum has been drugging her child. Police confirming they're aware of reports of child harm against a 1-year-old girl have taken steps to protect the child and commenced an investigation. The allegations coming as a shock to Kristen, whose own child shared a ward with the baby.
She just looked really distressed, and I had gone up to her and I said, "Hey, are you okay? What's going on?" And I had a general conversation with her about what's going on with her child and what's going on with mine, and it just went on from there.
A surprise too for those who have raised thousands of dollars to support the family.
Myself have got kids, so we kind of it kind of touched the heart a little there. So that's why we thought we've got to get involved. We've got to help this family.
Not to mention the mum's legion of loyal followers worldwide.
So many of us have been following this, checking for updates, praying for them.
7 News understands the police investigation will take weeks to complete. Detectives now in the process of obtaining health records and speaking with medical experts. We are not suggesting the allegations are true, merely that they're under investigation. Our attempts today to contact the parents unsuccessful.
No message can be left on this service.
The mum's social media accounts have also fallen silent as this investigation plays out. One of the final updates from the mother was that there was no hope of this girl recovering and that she would need more intensive care. Today, the hospital couldn't confirm her condition, citing the need for the parents' permission to release those details. Sarah?
Thank you, Michael.
All right. So, from what I understand, this information actually came out a while ago. A bunch of people, especially on these type of forums that they call them snark forums, they kind of make fun of, I don't know, just to blow off steam about certain people. Probably me too. Probably me. They're like, oh, that stupid Australian guy. I hate how he hides behind the microphone thing. God, he's annoying. I hope nobody ever subscribes to his channel. Stuff like that. They knew about this weeks ago. I've got records dating back to September, early October, that show people talking about the possibility that this child was not suffering from these conditions that the mum was talking about. And so what I understand is the mum over-exaggerated what was happening to the child in the hospital while also telling the hospital the symptoms were different. So people online thought it was much more serious than what it was. And and then people at the hospital were getting something different. They found out she was on TikTok, and then they started researching for themselves, realized there was a mismatch there, and started investigating. From what I understand, they did a tox screen on the little girl because they couldn't figure out what was going on. They're like, well, this is like a perfectly good, child. She seems to be okay. Why is she reacting this way? And look, this is just a rumor. I don't even know if I can confirm this, but from what I understand, in the tox screen, they found high levels of benzodiazepine. So it's a downer. So make you go to sleep. But these are some of these records here. So this is from one of those pages. They said, got some Harris family goss for you. Sorry, that's their last name. They said, so the mum/dad or mum and dad have drugged. I'm not going to use that word, but there it is. I should have blurred that out. Ping, what are you doing? They said they've been drugging the little girl the whole time. They said some of the nurses started following her on Instagram and TikTok, and they were like, something's not right here. She's spreading false info. She doesn't have brain tumors, and she was never in palliative care. After her last brain surgery, which found nothing, the Children's Hospital decided to run a toxicology report, and it showed that little girl had high reading for benzodiazepine. There you go, Valium, etc. They said the kid has been taken off them now, off the parents, not the drugs. I don't know what they're doing about that. But apparently that kid is now in foster care, sort of like CPS for you Americans. And they don't have contact right now due to the investigation. It is, so apparently the kid is doing all right in hospital. Apparently it's awake, sitting up, eating, being normal. And then there's another one here. This is Brock Harris. Just saying he's a good dad. He said he wanted to protect his daughter. Said he didn't realize what his ex-partner, I don't know what they are, didn't know what she was doing. So he's blaming this entirely on the mum. Said that he thought that this little girl needed these surgeries. Apparently, these surgeries that she had were explorative surgeries. They weren't there to do anything. They were there to find information. And when they came back negative, that's when they started having some concerns. They were like, hey, what the hell's going on? And yeah. Marlon Clausen said you had that woman who was on your 60 Minutes that conned everyone that she'd recovered from cancer. Yeah, Bell. Is that her name? Bell? Bell Gibson? Yeah, she was actually from around here. She's actually, when she was doing all that, she lived about, I don't know, 5-10 minutes from where I am right now. She lived really close to where I live. Yeah, she's a scumbag. She had that book called like The Whole Pantry or something, and she tried to say that she could cure cancer through diet. And what a champion I am! Look how healthy I am. I beat brain cancer, and got found out it was a giant scam and stuff like that. Why would you not have done a tox screen to begin with? Yeah, it's a good point. Something we probably won't find out due to this being a child and a minor. No chance of getting the medical records. Not that we should have it anyway, because the kid has privacy rights and, have to look out for what's the best for that little kid because they're eventually going to grow up. But I have seen suggestions that I don't know how to put this, but the mum's game plan, because she had dug a hole so deep with her lies and medical issues and conning people, was that maybe she was trying to kill the child with the benzos. Like by drugging her constantly, maybe it would cause some sort of toxicity event in the end. I don't know. All I can tell you is, what the hell? You would risk killing a child, your child, all for being a TikTok loser, all for free handbags and baby walkers from whatever crappy management company is willing to send it to you. So you'd rather have materialistic things than the life of your child. That just paints what kind of person this lady might be. Apparently, she had signed to a management agency. They've dumped her now. We don't know. From my reading, I don't know how long they knew, but some people are saying that she was taken off their roster back in like September, October. So they're saying they think that they have known for a couple of months. The news sort of broke here in Australia last night, early afternoon yesterday, became really widespread. There was news happening in Queensland where they're from, and then it spread nationally throughout the morning and then today. So there you go. I don't know what else to tell you except for I hope that little kid is somewhere and with people who can keep it safe and provide a life for it that is not this. If this is proven, if they can prove these allegations, then I don't know where you go from here. Where do you go from here if that's you? If you're this mum, where do you go from here if they somehow prove Munchausen by proxy and that you've been hurting your child for internet fame and glory? That's what I want to know. Rachel says, as long as the child is safe, that's what matters. First, then go after the mum. The child is safe. As far as I know, the child is in custody within a hospital. So the child has got good people. There's doctors and police and CPS, and they're all looking after the little kid. The little kid's okay. It's time to go out. It is time now to go after the parents. So all I can say is good work, Snark people. You seem to have nailed this one. They're not always right. They were wrong about the death of an influencer earlier this year. They're like, oh, she offed herself and blah, blah, blah. Nah, she died from a really rare heart infection. So it wasn't what everyone thought it was. So they were wrong about that. But this time they got it right. And yeah, I don't know what else to tell you. It's just shocking. I saw it come across my desk late last night. And then I started doing research for it. And I can tell you there was a lot of people who knew about this early, really early on. They had guessed that, one, the dad had been saying a few things over a period of a few months. He wasn't sure why the child needed this and some other things. They're not sure whether he's just trying to distance himself from the investigation and whether he had anything to do with it. I think that's going to come out in the wash, so to speak. That if he did have something to do with it, then they'll figure that out. But she was raising money through GoFundMe for the child. That GoFundMe has now been paused, and an internal investigation with GoFundMe is ongoing. They cannot withdraw any money, and they cannot raise any more money. Danny Mitchell says they need to look at the doctor's 2 brain surgery. From what I understand, it was exploratory. So they were looking for what the problem was. They couldn't figure it out. So they're like, apparently the dad was advocating for this type of surgery because the mother wanted it. So the dad was like, oh, yeah, okay, well, if it helps the kid, I want to do that too. And they pushed hospital staff to undertake that. And I guess for some reason, we don't know why, they thought it was a decent idea. I can't think of a reason why they would do that without doing a tox screen in the first place. But you would think that'd be the first thing you do to see if there's any, like, what's easier, doing a panel, like drawing blood or marrow or something and doing a full panel, or drilling into a child's head? Which one is easier? I would suggest it's probably the full panel would be the easy solution. Hey Glitter, how are you, my friend? Good to see you. Yeah, brain surgery. I don't think it was like, I think that might be the wrong way of saying it. Look, whatever it was, they drilled into the child's head. Whatever word you want to use for it. That child had surgical operation on her skull. So that's the way, whatever word you want to use. It is pretty crazy. I don't know where they're going to go from here with it. If they prove it, I feel sorry for the kid. The kid went through this. The kid's only like, 1 year old, and it's already been through traumatic, medical related, stuff. It's had problems with its parents. What kind of life is there for that kid? Especially if it gets taken away, it doesn't have its mum and dad. Something invasive, yeah. I'm just not sure it's like, hey, we took the skull off and removed the entire brain. I think it was more like some sort of keyhole type, small, looking for something. Yeah, 1 year old, I think. The baby's in the thumbnail. Yeah, I can put it up. I'm not willing to show the face. I'm not willing to show the face of the kid. Because the child has has protections and rights as a human, and I'm not willing to show the face of it, but I can kind of show you maybe how old it is. Is it this one? Okay. So if you didn't get to see the thumbnail, I'll put it up here. So that's the mum. The mum is obviously the blonde hair lady. The child here is the one you can see wrapped in the dressing on the skull here. That's what they do when you have something like that type of surgery. So there you go. That's them. And yeah, that's like, you can tell that baby's not very old. Not sure. I don't follow them, so I'm not sure how old the kid is, but the messages say around 1, maybe something just over 1. Not very old. Pretty little. So hey retired RN, how are you? Retired RN says, I've cared for children with this diagnosis. It's hard to figure out at first. I'm sure it is. Yeah, smash the likes. Thanks, Juicy Jules. All right. Where's Marlene? Marlene said the discovery now saved the child many years of pain and suffering. 100%. We all saw what happened to Gypsy. Gypsy is the warning tale from history. Like, for any woman that or man that wants to do this to a child, go and watch the movie or the documentary about Gypsy. Go watch that documentary, because that is what you might cause. Like, no joke, you might cause that. Go watch that documentary. Yeah. Like, I want to play you that little snippet at the start here with the mum talking. All right, listen to what she says.
Have reached millions online.
My baby girl, she's so little. And she is riddled with tumours. I think
Riddled with tumors. No one said that. Ain't no one has come out and said that is a real thing. And that's one of the discrepancies that the doctors picked up on. So she is playing it up for the social media, credit, street cred.
she's having seizures. I think she's having seizures.
I think you're having seizures because you have gone off the rocker, like 100%. You've gone so far this way, you've turned into Crazy Town, and she's having seizures, huh? Have you ever videotaped any of these seizures? Can you show them to anyone? Can you explain what triggers them or what time of day? Is it heat related? Like, is it medical? Like, there's a million things that cause seizures. It's very, very, very vague. Nonalana says, oh yeah, Gypsy. I heard she was pregnant. I heard she was having a baby. Terrified for Gypsy's baby? I don't know if I'm terrified. I'm a little bit terrified, but something in me tells me that Gypsy knows what it's like to be abused and that she wouldn't do it to her own child after she went through it. And I know a lot of people are going to think I'm mental, but I just have a funny feeling that she knows what it's like to be put through all that and that she wouldn't do it to her own kid. She would be more protective, but hey, I don't know. That's just my theory. And let's listen to this again.
A Queensland mum opening up on her baby daughter's health journey. Among the one-year-old's diagnoses, she claims, are a rare genetic disease and debilitating brain conditions.
Like, Mum, intuition just knew something was wrong. And no one listened to me.
Oh, mother effer, play the whole mum intuition thing. And no one listened to me because I'm a white lady. What are you talking about? That's all people do as a white woman. They all listen to you. I mean, who's not listening to you? What, other white ladies? Who? I don't know what you're talking about. It's ridiculous. Blaming it, trying to tug at other women's heartstrings by saying, it was my mother's intuition. I just knew something was wrong. I saw the imaginary bat signal and I just had to do something. I had to act. That is really low. If it's proven, it's alleged right now, that is low to tug at other mothers who may have sick children, who may have them in hospital, who are not on TikTok earning $200,000 a year or whatever, maybe more. And you're like, donate to my GoFundMe because my mother's intuition is so strong. I found all the riddled tumors in my baby. By the way, Australia at the moment is looking to bring in a new law that would restrict social media to anyone. You'd have to be over the age of 16 to access it. And I think it should extend to situations like this, where you cannot make money off your children in this way. You can't put them on social media and take them to like Legoland and be like, oh, look, we're happy families. And when you go home, you beat them and shove them in a closet. Like, I hope it extends to that. And this whole fad of, I don't know what they're called, like mumfluencers or whatever, I hope they go away, because at the end of the day, you are profiteering off a child, and you are using it as a fashion accessory to make money on YouTube, TikTok, whatever. If you're an adult like I am, like you are as an adult, sure, whatever, that you have a legal choice, but that child does not. And I've always had a problem with it because when those children grow up, they don't know what mum or dad uploaded and put on TikTok or whatever. They have no choice in the matter. So I hope it extends to that, and it may stop people doing this and then, ending up in this situation when they get in too deep. Marlene says, look at the 8 passengers in Ruby Frankie and those poor children. Exactly. It's the same thing. Almost exactly the same, except those children were a little older and they were able to figure out a way to bring attention to what was going on. A 1-year-old can't. And yeah, this woman got caught out in her own words, as the young kids would say. She got caught in 4K. She got caught in 4K, and she may be posterized. No, that's an NBA thing. She's not going to be posterized. Yeah. Look, I don't know. I don't know what you want me to tell you except for I hope the kid's okay. That's it. Yeah, exploiting your children and their medical pain for financial gain and internet points it's the lowest common denominator to me. Like, you're just basically using your kids to get a free, I don't know, Birkin bag, or I don't know what they want. The famous walker that Kim Kardashian has for her children when they were little, I don't know. But yeah, the fact you had to be signed to a management agency. All right, sure. Either way, I hope that little kid is doing better and is no longer doped up on benzodiazepine. April B says in Illinois, mums can't do that anymore. If they show their kids, they have to be paying their children like money put into a saving trust account. That is good. In California, they have that rule. So kids on movie sets can only work so often. I think it's only like 3 hours a day. That's why in a lot of the old TV shows like Full House and other ones like Friends, they had children, but they were twins. That way they could work for twice as long, but like split it between the children. And that's the way they used to do it. But I don't know how what they do for TikTok. Yeah, I agree with you all that Gypsy is a very troubled human being. I don't know. I just have some weird feeling that she wouldn't hurt her own kid. I don't know why. And everyone, like I said, everyone probably thinks I'm mental, but I just don't know why. I just have a weird feeling that she would, I don't, especially if it was a girl. I have a feeling if it was a girl, she would know. Like, she would feel more instinctive to be like, I don't want her to have my life. But hey, who knows? She roped in a boyfriend to kill her own mother. So, hey, 50-50 could go either way. I'll bring you more on this when I know more. Right now, I don't know anymore. This is about all I know. I do know some more, but I'm not going to air it because it's more like family names, where they're from, that type of thing. And I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm allowed to air because our media here won't name her, even though everyone knows her name. Like, everyone knows the woman's name, everyone knows the baby's name. She's got many forums and Reddits named after her. But for some reason, the media is not naming either of them. Some sort of privacy thing, I'm not sure. Hey Ghost, how are you? YouTube will catch up to Hollywood child actor rules eventually. They already... I don't know about that, but they already adhere to some of the SAG or SAG type things, but I don't know about for children. Danny says, disagree adamantly. Yeah, that's okay. We can disagree. April B says, Gypsy will be the opposite of her mum. See, that's what I think. I think so too. She may not be the best mum, but she won't be like her mum. Yeah, I agree. They've not worked well for child actors. No, they haven't, but it's got to be better than pimping your kid out on TikTok so you can get 4 double passes to Dream World on the Gold Coast. That would have to be, better than that. Yeah. Look, guys, anytime we hear of a case of Munchausen by proxy, he has to be taken very seriously. And while I make a lot of jokes and try and make a little fun of this woman, it's my own way of dealing with it. It's a very serious thing, and if it is medically, confirmed that's what this woman is doing, it needs to be treated with a lot of caution, and they need to make sure she's held responsible and a lot of other things, make sure the kid is okay. But yeah, it's a very serious allegation, and even the act of it is very, very serious. Like you don't see a lot of it. You see there's a difference between abusing a child and then Munchausen by proxy. It's just got some differences, and we see a lot of abuse. We see a lot of children dying from abuse, and then we see this. It's slightly different, but either way, a child gets hurt. So, yeah, benzodiazepine. That's apparently what was in her system, the little kid. All right. I want to talk about a story out of Melbourne, where I am, and I had hey, shush. I had no idea this was actually going on. And I look for stories every day. Every day I'm looking for different things to talk about with you guys. And somehow, I miss that there was a missing young woman in my area. Had no idea. Yeah, Isla Bell. So her name is Isla Bell, and I'm just going to load up a video for you. So she was missing. They found her remains in a rubbish tip, and unfortunately, she'd been missing since early October, and they found that at a Cleanaway operated tip on Tuesday. So I'm just trying to load up the video here. This was a few hours ago. Let's go to ABC News in Australia.
Victoria Police have charged 2 men in relation to the suspicious disappearance of a missing Melbourne teenager. 19-year-old Isla Bell was last seen 6 weeks ago. Reporter Samantha Johnsher has more from Melbourne. Sam, what do we know so far?
We know that Miss Bell was last seen leaving her home in Brunswick around 6 p.m. on October 4th. And now yesterday, Victoria Police say they discovered what they believe to be her human remains in Dandenong. That's a suburb northeast of Melbourne. They say they've executed 2 search warrants in relation to her disappearance. And now a 53-year-old man has been charged with murder and a 57-year-old man has been charged with assisting in a murder. We understand both of those men will face court today.
Have we heard from her family?
As you might imagine, the last 6 weeks has been an incredibly emotional time for those who knew Miss Bell. Her mother, in particular, has been very active on Facebook, pleading for any information from the public and calling for her daughter to come home. In a public fundraising page organized by friends and family, nearly $11,000 has been raised, and that's been funding a public advertising campaign raising awareness about her disappearance. Now, today's news will no doubt be devastating for those who knew Miss Bell.
By the way, where did the American woman come from? And why is she on my news? It's very odd. What is a rubbish tip? It's a garbage dump. Is that the word for America? A trash place. Like, I'm trying to think of the word that we use for Suzanne Simpson. A rubbish place, like where you get your rubbish picked up outside your home, and then they take it to the place. Right, that's it. I was having a mental blank. A landfill. So you guys would call it landfill. We call it a rubbish tip, TIP. Why we call it that, I don't know. We just do. So they found her remains at don't hear of that super often here. Hear about it in America, Canada, stuff like that. But yeah, this woman Isla Bell found her remains in a landfill, and 2 men have been arrested. 2 men aged in their 50s. I can't imagine being her mum. Her mum's been all over social media trying to raise awareness for her daughter. I will try bring you something. Let me play the rest of this video, and then I'll try grab the one from her mum. Hold on.
Reporter Samantha Joncha there in Melbourne. Thank you.
If you or anyone you know was affected by this video, please contact Lifeline on 13 11 14 or 1800 RESPECT. 1-800.
There's the numbers in Australia. If you are deeply affected by anything Ping says, call these numbers. They might be able to help you. All right. So her mother's name is Justine. I'm just trying to find if I can find the one where her mother talks. Yeah, I might have to search her mum's name fully. I don't know why that's not working. I can't find the one. Her mum did like a press conference out the front of the police station, but I can't seem to find it. This was back on the 20th of October. I don't know how the hell this slipped through my researching every day. I read all the papers, the Age, the Herald, the Mail, everything, and I don't know how I just somehow didn't see that this young lady was missing. But Isla Bell, she was 19. That's what I'm calling her. Her mother is Justine Spokes, and she was posting on Facebook saying, "My girl is missing. Dearly missed. She leaves an impression. She's hard to forget. She has a fighting spirit. Sometimes it's loud, sometimes it's soft, always enduring. They say, we're here for you, bub. I love you, my Care Bear." Unfortunately, she was found in that rubbish tip in Dandenong. It must have been yesterday. Yesterday was Tuesday, and the news broke this morning, and they were able to find her remains. 2 men. I don't have the men's photos yet. I suspect they will come out once they're charged and booked. We should be able to get at least find out who they are. There's a nice photo of her. Give me 1 second. I might just double check because they were due in court this afternoon. 20 minutes ago. At a rubbish tip in Dandenong. Mulgrave. Oh, here you go.
Being charged with murder. Isla Bell.
Yeah, I'll play this little thing for you from the Herald Sun. I don't know who is speaking, but the article was by Mark Butler, Fergus Ellis, Jordan McCarthy, and Rebecca Kavanagh. So I'll play the little video.
Isla Bell went missing on October 4 after leaving her Brunswick home. Now, weeks on, 2 men have been charged with murder after police found human remains at a rubbish tip in Dandenong that they believe are hers. Police arrested 3 men on Tuesday after executing search warrants at 2 properties in Bentley East and Mulgrave. A 53-year-old man has been charged with murder, while a 57-year-old man has been charged with assisting an offender. The third man, a 63-year-old man from Mulgrave, has been released pending further inquiries. The Herald Sun understands police are investigating whether the body of the teenager was placed in a household rubbish bin after her death and was then taken away on a routine rubbish collection. Isla Bell went missing on October.
So there you go. They think she was possibly dumped in a household rubbish bin, and that bin was collected and taken to the landfill. Yeah, much older men. I'm very interested about their relationship between a 19-year-old girl and 53, 57, and a 63-year-old man. Why was she hanging around people much older than her and not people, in their 20s, 19, whatever? I want to know why that is a thing. It's very sad. Apparently, she had been due to go on a trip with her mum. They had been planning a scuba diving type trip in the in Queensland for the Great Barrier Reef, and they were planning to go up there together for her birthday. And she'll never get to take that trip anymore. They're saying the mother of a devastated teenager whose body was found dumped at a Melbourne rubbish tip says her family is devastated by the loss of the kindest human and the gentlest soul. Police have charged 2 men in their 50s, one with murder over the death of Isla Bell. She is 19 and she was from Brunswick. She was last seen leaving her home on October 4. A 53-year-old St Kilda man has been charged with murder, while a 57-year-old Hampton man has been charged with assisting an offender. These areas are very interesting. St Kilda are quite well known for having a very seedy underbelly. Quite a big place with prostitution. Quite a big place that has a lot of drug offences in that area too. Same with Hampton. Hampton has a very big underbelly for drug and drug trafficking, anything illegal. A lot of it comes from Hampton. It's got a very two-sided though. They both do. St Kilda's got areas where, because it's right on the water, right near the city, you can pay 2 million, 3 million, 5 million for an apartment, and then you've got places down the road where people who get out of jail, halfway houses and people prostituting out of it around the corner. Same with Hampton. Hampton has a lot of sort of like emergency accommodation / public housing in the area, and then it's got other areas that are much more expensive, 1 million, 1.4, that type of thing. So you get this mixed type of community. They're saying here, that same day, Miss Bell had excitedly texted her friend, this is the day she went missing. They were keen to talk about a recent out with a man. She was just about to tell me about her night, this new guy she was with, how and where she met him. She abruptly stopped replying before giving me any more details. She was very eager and excited to tell me about it, and then radio silence. They're saying the Herald Sun has been told police uncovered Miss Bell's body at a rubbish dump in Dandenong in Melbourne's southeast on Tuesday. One of the guys' name is Marat Ganev, was charged with her murder, briefly appeared in the dock at Melbourne Magistrates Court Wednesday morning. He did not say anything throughout the administrative hearing. No details of allegations against him were aired in the court. A charge sheet released from the court reveals he is accused of killing Miss Bell at St Kilda East on October 7. I have no idea how to pronounce this dude's name. E.L. Yaffe, 57, or Yaff, probably not how you say that, has been charged with assisting that man with the murder. Apparently, he nodded and smiled and waved to his family as he was brought into court by custody officers on Wednesday afternoon. They're saying top barrister Ian Hill KC is representing him, told the court they intended to make a bid for bail. How are you going to make a bid for bail on a murder charge, bro? Come on. They say, but given the late timing in the day, Mr. Hill successfully asked for the matter to be adjourned till Friday. So he's going to try and get bail on Friday. He's the one charged with assisting the main perpetrator. They said here, asked if there were any custody management issues. Mr. Hill said his client should be seen by the nurse as he has a pre-existing back injury which causes pain. Yes, moving dead people can often give you back injuries which cause pain. That is true. That's a fact. They say detectives were given until February 12 to prepare their brief of evidence in the case. According to the magistrate, Justin Foster, that he ordered that the man be seen by the custody nurse after his lawyer, Adrian Lewin, raised that he had not had his prescribed 70 milligram of methadone for 2 days. Methadone, hey? Interesting. What did I say about St Kilda and Hampton? Having a very seedy underbelly about drugs and drug trafficking? Interesting. He was remanded in custody to return to court for a committal case conference in March of 2025. So we're not going to hear anything else about this until early next year, unfortunately. Yeah. Apparently, her mother said in a statement provided to the Herald, she's very sorry for her daughter, a darling daughter, that she could not protect her from your complex illnesses and this cruel world. She said, I was so proud of your choices this year, your strength to endure despite your suffering. All you ever wanted was to create, make, and nurture life, to love and be loved. She says, we were so much looking forward to being reunited as a family again. My heart aches and cannot reconcile that that's not going to happen. Her mother said her daughter would always be remembered for her kindness and adventurous spirit. She said she was the gentlest soul, the kindest human, and free-spirited. She says, I will connect to you in my spirit, my Care Bear, and no one can take that connection away from us. There's one of the homes that was raided as a part of the murder investigation. You can see the police there with all their evidence bags. They say police are investigating whether the body of the teenager was placed in a household rubbish bin after her death. Police believe it was then taken away on a routine rubbish collection. Missing Persons Squad detectives were able to track that collection and recover Miss Bell's remains, which are yet to be formally identified. Police also scoured a commercial truck parked outside a property in Mulgrave as part of the investigation. Forensic investigators were seen probing the vehicle, bagging evidence in brown paper bags, and combing home along Wanda Street about 7 p.m. on Tuesday. Dressed in blue forensic suits, they took photos of a tarp and a series of clear containers outside the house. The blinds were closed at the single-story brick home as investigators walked through the property. No marked police cars were seen at the home. Here is the original missing poster for Isla. Sounds like she had a bit of a troubled early part of her life. Very, very sad that she met such a gruesome end to her existence. There are some evil, evil people out there that will do this type of thing to young ladies or other people. They're saying here she'd been missing since October 4. She was only 5'3", pale complexion, waist length, bright orange wavy hair, and she had multiple piercings, including eyebrow, nostril, septum, and bottom lip, and had a large tattoo of a phoenix on her right leg and a tattoo on her left wrist and thumb. They said days after Miss Bell vanished, her mother made an impassioned plea to the community to help find her daughter. She says, my girl is missing and dearly missed. I bet you she will be missed for a long time. Yeah, that is very sad. Very sad ending to that missing person case in Melbourne. Not something we like to see. People just thrown away like garbage. That's exactly what happened to that young girl. Taken to this facility in Dandenong, and they are very lucky they found her before something else happened to her remains. Yeah, it does. That I do get that impression as well from her mum. It sounds like she definitely had some sort of addiction issues, whether she was currently using or she was in recovery. I don't know, but it sounds like she may have been off and on, because the mum said she was very proud of her choices this year. So it sounds like at some point she was, yeah, using some sort of drugs. I know. Biscuits murder? I don't know what that means. Ghost says, I don't understand why murderers lose their instincts to protect human life. I wonder if they're not born with it. If they're born with a more selfish world view. So the only things that matter is them protecting their freedom, their life, and that type of thing. So, yeah, I think it's more about their survival rather than anyone else's. So they probably just used this girl. Why they had to kill her, I don't know. We'll find that out when we go to court, what the theory on what happened inside that house in St Kilda East. Yeah, St Kilda East. It was at the bottom of the story. What was it? Let me see. There's nothing here. I don't see anything about drug use here. Like, I saw one of the guys is on methadone, and he's withdrawing in prison. But I don't see anything here. See, not prescribed. He had not had his 70 milligram of methadone. That was one of the people accused. I think that is the guy accused of killing Isla. So the man accused of killing Isla is a methadone user. Wouldn't surprise me if he was on heroin then. I don't know what she was on, but yeah, there's nothing here at the bottom, my friend. They say days after she vanished, her mother made an impassioned plea. She said, my girl is missing, blah, blah, blah. Yep, we read that. She said she leaves an impression. She's hard to forget. She has a fighting spirit. Sometimes it's loud, sometimes it's soft. She says, we're here for you. Oh, you're talking about this. Wife's huge court win after biscuit murder. The hell is a biscuit murder? Rebecca Payne. Who the frick is Rebecca Payne? Oh, I don't know this one. It says here, a woman who fed her sadistic husband drug-laced biscuits will walk free from prison in less than 3 years after her sentence was slashed. Rebecca Payne, 45, was jailed for 16 years in June last year after she was convicted of murder of Noel Payne, 68, in the rural town of Wallop. I'm going to say it's Wallop. They're saying at trial, Payne claimed she didn't intend to kill him when she gave him temazepam. That didn't come out right. Temazepam laced lemon biscuits, or as you Americans might say, cookies, just that she wanted to sedate him for some time out. I don't buy your... Oh, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some temazepam and I'm going to put it in his favorite food. That way me and my girls can go out and get shit-faced on the town, you know, without him knowing. And then before he wakes up in the morning, you know, he'll be very groggy. I'll sneak back into the house and into the bed and he'll never know. I don't buy your I don't buy your hypothesis. I think you probably intended to kill him to get rid of the problem. People don't drug people just because it's fun. They're not like, yes, let me drug him so I can go to my neighbor Kelly's place and smoke weed. I don't think so. And if they do, they're not like, do you think 48 tablets is enough? Do you think that's enough? Not 1, not 2. What about 15? Yeah, I think it's disgusting. I think the victim's family would be very, very angry. They're saying the judge on Wednesday refused the appeal, but they set aside her original sentence of 16 years in prison and issued a new sentence, subtracting 4 years off the total. Her non-parole period was 10 years originally. Now it is 7, meaning with time served, she'll be eligible for parole in September 2027. So just about 2.5 years, about 3 years away. About 3 years. They're saying here, in their reasons, the 3 judges wrote that they considered Payne's case wholly exceptional. I often think people who put tranquilizers or sedatives in biscuits to be wholly exceptional, yes. They're saying their sentencing task in the present case was a complex one. You sure about that? Don't seem so very complex. They say we have to come to the view that this sentence, despite the acknowledged role that mercy played in the judge's instinctive synthesis, I can't even pronounce that right now, was manifestly excessive. Yeah, I can't pronounce that for some reason because I'm reading too fast. The judge wrote that while Noel Payne's killing was deliberate, her motive had built up and festered in the sordid and stifling environment created by his cruel and degrading conduct. She had endured upwards of 10 years of intolerable and seemingly escalating emotional and physical torment at the hands of the deceased. Her situation was, the judge found, inescapable. Payne killed her husband in the evening of September 1, 2020 after feeding him biscuits laced with at least 7 temazepam tablets. His remains were discovered wrapped in a blanket and stuffed in a chest freezer by a neighbor's son 3 days later. And you didn't mean to kill him. Then how did he end up in the freezer? And why did you know there was a freezer that would fit a human body? And why did you leave it for a neighbor's son to find? What do you think? He just rolled himself up in a blanket, hopped his way across the backyard, and then hopped into a freezer? Okay. Sure. They're saying, handing down her original sentence in June last year, Justice Rita Inserti said Noel Payne had inflicted years of depraved sexual, emotional, and physical abuse on his wife. She said, the abuse was insidious. You were trapped in an abusive, violent, and cruel environment for over a decade. I accept your regrettable conduct cannot be disengaged from your abuse you suffered. The justice rejected an argument by prosecutors that Payne could have left her husband, but noted there was no legally justifiable reason to kill him. There you go. That is the story of the biscuit. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Killing people with lemon biscuits. Okay. Killing people with lemon biscuits. I don't know. Did they really call her the Cookie Monster? Apparently on 9 News they called her the Cookie Monster. Oh, jeez. I don't know how much I can play of this. All right, let's have a look.
Rebecca Payne was labelled the Cookie Monster after killing her husband with poisoned biscuits. But a sentencing judge was sympathetic, saying the victim was the real monster. Rebecca, though, is behind bars, and there are plenty saying the punishment does not fit the crime.
A depraved, violent, controlling husband. and a wife sentenced to 16 years jail for his murder.
You can only take so much physical, mental and sexual abuse from a person.
Well, you'd be lucky to find 2 people in town that liked him. He was a monster.
Rebecca Payne is a 43-year-old mother to 6 children. She was trapped in an abusive marriage for 14 years.
I really am surprised with the people that have come out and said things about him, that they didn't just come out and say, yeah, he was an effing CUNT. Yeah, no one liked that, CUNT. That guy was he was a real bastard, that guy. That's almost what it seemed like. Poison biscuits, yeah, cookies, poison cookies. 6 children, derived from abuse, apparently. Hey, Blaze. 7 pills is too much to put him to sleep. She killed him. Definitely. I definitely think she intended to kill him. I don't buy her argument that she tended to just get some rest. I don't buy that. I think the justices gave her a get out of jail free card due to the abuse. Even the kids look sad standing next to him. Yeah, and she's not even wearing a bra. No, I'm just kidding. Don't come for me. I'm a good guy. Don't come for me. I'll tell you more about the Cookie Monster. Hold on.
Isolated in country Victoria, living with husband Noel Payne and his lover. His name tattooed 18 times on her body so no one else could love her.
I just knew he was very controlling.
On September 4, 2020, Noel's body was found by a neighbour in a chest freezer wrapped in a blanket and tied with duct tape. The freezer door strapped shut. A court would later hear Rebecca drugged 68-year-old Noel, crushing at least 7 temazepam pills into a lemon biscuit she baked for him.
I'm also confused in these reenactments, right? They always do this. If you ever watched true crime reenactments, watch this. Ping will show you something. They're like, oh my God, he had the pills. Look at this. Where are they? Show us the pills.
Court would later...
Yeah, I'll mute it for a second. Look at this. Oh my God. Oh, they are Panadol. Oh, he died from aspirin poisoning. That's what it's like. Can you imagine taking a temazepam that is the size of a of like an aspirin? It would, that would definitely knock you out. They always use them in reenactments. They're like, look at these dangerous pills. And it's obviously they went down to the local supermarket and bought a pack of aspirin because that's all they are. All right, hold on. Oh, it stopped. Hold on.
Low. It would be Noel's last supper. The dad of 5 kids murdered, discovered days later.
He tied her to the back of the car and dragged her along the road until the rope broke.
Instead of being prosecuted, she should be, promoted for what she did.
The abuse was insidious. You were trapped in an abusive, violent and cruel environment for over a decade.
Rebecca's son Jamie spoke to A Current Affair after her sentencing.
I don't feel she deserved it because she went through 14, 15 years of abuse. I feel she's done her time.
Rebecca Payne was sentenced to a non-parole period of 10 years. The judge telling the court that photos and videos of the sexual abuse of Rebecca and Noel's lover was so depraved and distressing, it's difficult to capture the horror of such abuse in words. In sentencing, Justice Rita Incherti told the court how Rebecca wants to leave custody, a better person than when she arrived.
I think your prospects of rehabilitation are excellent and that you would...
Yeah, her prospects of rehabilitation are positive. As long as you don't let her near the prison kitchen, she'll be all right. Maybe her and Aaron Patterson should be kept very far apart from each other in the prison. Don't let them near each other, ever. Otherwise, you'll end up with a mushroom/lemon temazepam pie. And everyone's going to get real sick, real fast, and not feel anything. That's what's going to happen. April B says temazepam comes in capsules. Mine did anyway. I know. They're just like, look at these giant tablets. Let's reenact it. All right, hold on.
Were genuinely remorseful.
I know she has nightmares. She can't sleep sometimes. But I know where she is. She's got help. She will definitely come out stronger than when she went in.
More than a decade of abuse over and at least 7 years behind bars to go. Rebecca will live with what she did.
Well, for a few more years anyway. She just had her sentence slashed by 4 years. So she's going to be out by the end of 2027. End of 2027, she'll be free to make as many more lemon biscuits as she wants, and we'll have to see what happens with her. Yeah, no prison kitchen work for her or Erin Patterson. Never. None. Yeah, not for either of them. That would be the most trippy, poisonous pie you could ever eat. You'd be like, oh my god, I think I'm getting poisoned, and then you'd fall asleep and you just die. They'd combine powers like Voltron, and they would be the ultimate murderer. You know, they combine their skills of hers with temazepam, hers with poisonous mushrooms, and it would be bad for everyone. Ghost said these giant tablets are usually vitamin C in the US. Aspirin is usually much smaller. We get these giant horse tablet aspirins over here. Angela said the ones in the reenactment look bloody good. All right. Let's watch the rest of it.
Reminded of it every time she looks in the mirror and reads her dead husband's name inked on her skin.
There's no word yet on whether Rebecca Payne will appeal her sentence or do the full 7 years.
Well, she did appeal, and today that appeal was heard and was granted. Well, the appeal was denied, but they gave her a shorter sentence, and she'll be out at the end of 2027. So I do think it's interesting. One of the things they mentioned was he tattooed his name on her multiple times across her body in a form of ownership over her, and that is pretty brutal. I mean, I'm not trying to make light of her abuse allegations. I think they're probably true. I just, you know, I think it's ridiculous to let people off. If you sentence people to a crime and they've killed someone, I thought we got rid of those type of defenses on purpose, so they kind of go hand in hand with a bunch of other type of old school type defenses. One is the gay panic defense. The other one was the battered partner defense. There's a few others. Some states in Australia don't let you use them anymore. You have to provide more evidence rather than just saying, I was a battered woman. All right, well, my wife used to beat me up a lot, which used to happen a lot in the 80s and 70s. But I know they don't like using them anymore. April B says that's an excessive amount of tattoos. It seems like it was more partially torture, partially proclaiming ownership over her. Right, she might be having a great old time. You know, it could be true if her home life is to be believed. It makes it very difficult though, because we've seen more than once women who have come forward after killing their husbands and said, "Why, he was so abusive to me forever," and there's like no proof. But this one does seem to have some decent proof levels. Even the judge was like, the photographic and videographic evidence provided to the court was extremely, excessive, graphic, horrific. So I don't not believe her. I just find it interesting that they would give her a shorter sentence when the first judge said it was inappropriate in a murder case. Yeah, there were videos and photos. Yeah, that's a bit odd. He had a lover live with them and her. Sounds like he wanted his own harem. He's like, I want my own harem. Those Arabian guys had the right idea. That's what I want too. All right, give me 1 second. Let me load the other story. There you go. That was the at the bottom of our other article about Isla. Poor girl. I feel very sorry for her. When I have more details about what happened to her, I'll bring it to you. Here, I'll put some photos up for you. Yeah, she got some nice photos, right? She was a pretty young lady. Pretty cool tattoo too. That phoenix tattoo. Oh, that's a nice photo. Wait, that's not a photo. That's an advertisement. Yeah, pretty young girl. I mean, yeah. So hopefully we'll have a big hopefully her family will have a big, celebration of life for her, and like her mum just seems beside herself. I don't think the mum expected her body to be found in a landfill. Really abnormal. Doesn't happen here a lot. Happens way more in America. It just doesn't happen a ton here. Or if it does, the cops are like, "Oh, we don't search landfills." Well, how do you do that? Oh, if they're in there, they're long gone. We're not going to bother. Yeah, so there we go. Yeah, whoop. There we go. There's a nice photo of her. Hold on, what's this one? Hi, Rory. Hey, don't claw me. What are you doing, girl? What is this? It says, tragic end to desperate search for missing teenage girl on the Gold Coast. A body has been recovered after an extensive search and rescue mission for a 17-year-old girl on Queensland's Gold Coast. The teenage girl, who has a medical condition, was last seen on Bayberry Lane in Robina about 8:30 a.m. on Tuesday yesterday. Her worried family reported her missing to police, who searched the area in Carrera, about 10 minutes from where she was last seen. A land search and rescue is underway in the area with assistance from the SES and members of the public. So where did they find her? The family said her family and police were concerned due to a medical condition. Okay, that's it. That's all we know. But she was found deceased, and that they're currently trying to retrieve her body. That is very sad. Do we have a name? No name, just 17-year-old girl that looks like this, but we don't know her name. Good work, Queensland Police. Good work. Very, very helpful. Give me a second. Missing 17-year-old girl. Yeah. They say the 17-year-old girl missing from the area or Carrera since November 19 has been located deceased. Her family have requested privacy during this time. A report will be prepared for the coroner. The media and public are thanked for their assistance. They said they launched a search for a 17-year-old girl yesterday morning. Last seen around 8:30 a.m. has not been seen or heard from again. Police had concerns due to her welfare and a medical condition. They said a command post has been set up at the AFL ground along Nelson's Road in Carrera. Members of the public who want to assist with the search efforts are requested to meet there. Wait, what? Okay. I don't know why they'd asked. I don't think they're asking for members of the public now. I think they've found her. Identifiers from the Blow media release have been removed due to privacy reasons. Yes, okay, that tends to happen when you search for people. Let me see if I can find out who she was. I'm just trying to see if there's a name or just a first name. That'd be nice. No, I don't see one. Seems like everyone is updated to remove her name. So fair enough. All right, yeah. Can't find her name, unfortunately. Can't find her original name. But they do have a photo of her. Hold on, let me check one other place. Police are looking to... Yeah. Sorry, I'm just checking one more source of information. Okay. So no, she was definitely located deceased, unfortunately. And they're saying that, yeah, they want to remove her name. They don't want her name to be passed around. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Shall we keep going? We got more stories to talk about. All right, let's keep going. We got way more stories to go. We only got through 2 so far. I want to talk about this one out of Asia because the 2 girls are from my area. They're actually from about a suburb away from me. So I'm going to bring you that story. Let's go to 9 News Australia.
Of 2 Bayside teenagers gravely ill in Thailand are by their bedside tonight as the pair clings to life.
Holly Bowles and Bianca Jones were partying together in Laos when they are believed to have consumed drinks containing methanol. Laura Turner reports.
Holly Bowles and Bianca Jones, 2 girls on a trip of dreams. Holly posting about her gratitude for Laos. In another clip, she and Bianca party together. Best friends on an overseas trip they may never come home from.
These sort of situations you sort of read about from time to time, you don't ever expect to happen in your own circle.
Bianca's family saying they were filled with joy and had such incredible adventures ahead of them, travelling through Asia. We're here by Bianca's bedside, praying for her. Friends of the girls holding a vigil on Beaumaris Beach last night as the dreadful news set in. The pair believed to have inadvertently consumed drinks containing methanol. CCTV of the Nana backpackers in Laos showing what the manager says is one of the teens leaving in a moped on her way to hospital. Both Holly and Bianca reporting they were unwell late last week. They're now on life support. Their status so serious, Holly's brother simply posting, "Fly high." Bianca's former school, Mentone Girls Grammar, telling its community, "Our thoughts and prayers are with the beautiful Bianca and her family at this time."
The government is providing consular assistance to the family and as is appropriate.
Cafe colleagues of Holly saying she's just an absolute star. She's a bundle of joy. To know her is to love her. Holly graduated from Beaumaris Secondary College last year. This was supposed to be her gap year travelling. 9 News understands that teachers here at Beaumaris Secondary College have been in tears as the news has filtered through, also trying to protect student welfare in what is.
Yeah, so Beaumaris is actually like only about 2 streets from me, and I actually saw the people gathered at the beach over the last few days with the vigil. Hey, Rory, get down. What are you doing, girl? Yeah, and Mentone Grammar is about 2 blocks away from where I am. So these girls are like hyper local to where I live, and the area where I live is got a lot of high schools and middle schools for you Americans. There's a whole bunch of them just around the corner. So yeah, very sad. And you could see in that footage, they were in their room for about 24 hours after going out drinking. Then they came home and didn't feel very well. They actually walked themselves down to reception and said that they really needed to go to hospital. Apparently, they were very calm. And you can see, because apparently the guy who owns the hostel doesn't own a car like a lot of people in Asia don't. And you could see here, this footage right here was actually her. They had to take her one by one on the back of the moped. And here, I'll play it for you again. See, you can see her on the back of the moped getting taken to hospital in that serious of a condition that they believe she will not make it. They're saying that at least one of them won't make it, and the other one is in very, very, very serious condition. So it's methanol, not ethanol. I posted ethanol, but I was watching a thing on it this morning about how ethanol and methanol, you can't tell the difference with the naked eye. You need to be able to do a test on it, and that's why I got confused. But yeah, it's a byproduct of distilling drinks. So in a lot of Asian countries, they have these backyard like alcohol making operations, and they make their own alcohol. But I've actually made alcohol before, so I know this. The first little bit that comes out is most likely what they call the hot water, and you don't want that. It's mostly methanol, and it's no good. You don't want to drink it. It'll make you very sick. So they call that hot water, and you want to get rid of that. And then the rest of it is alcohol, and you can do whatever with it, proof it, find out what it is, and then make stuff out of it. But it's probably most likely, no, I don't think anyone spiked their drinks. No one spikes drinks with methanol. It's more the fact that someone has made alcohol but not done the correct things to take out the methanol when distilling it. So when you distill it, like I said, you're supposed to let a certain amount run and then you take the rest of it, because the first little bit is normally it's no good. Like, it's mostly methanol and some other chemicals. You don't want that. But they probably just bottled it. They probably just made bottles of it, and it got caught up in a bottle, and they drank it, and it'll kill you. 25 mil. 25 mil is enough to absolutely obliterate your body. Enough to absolutely just comatose you and kill you in probably like 12 to 24 hours. So I don't know how much they drank, but... Oh, you did? Sorry. Oh, yeah, it's not spiking drinks, though. Yeah, it's just made to, like, it's made for the tourist market, because tourists just want to get drunk and, you know, that type of thing. Pretty sad, though. Pretty sad that it sounds like at least one of them will not be coming home, and the other one is extremely ill. I'm just going to see if I can find... There was another one where they talked to a barkeeper that's over there. Yeah, let's head to 7 News. I wonder if this will play.
Two young Melbourne women are on life support in Thailand tonight after suffering suspected methanol poisoning at a hostel in Laos. The Bayside teenagers were on a group trip of a lifetime. Now family members are making a mercy dash from Australia to be by their side.
The group of Melbourne girls set off on a whirlwind trip through Southeast Asia. 2 of them are now fighting for life in hospital. It's believed they drank cocktails laced with methanol at a backpackers hostel. The teenagers had visited Laos, which is where they fell ill. One girl is on life support in Udon Thani in northern Thailand. Her family has flown from Melbourne to be with her. Another girl is in a coma in a Bangkok hospital.
They can very quickly start having symptoms like nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain. After that, it can start affecting their brain, so you can become comatose. It can cause blindness, temporary or even permanent, and it can kill you.
Liquor is spiked with methanol to increase its potency. It's usually used in insecticide, paint stripper and glass cleaner. It's unlikely the girls knew they were ingesting the toxic substance. 10 others are sick and there are unconfirmed reports 2 other people have died.
Early recognition of this is important, and early treatment by specialist hospitals is the way that we can save these people's lives.
It's understood the poisoning happened late last week. The Department of Foreign Affairs is supporting the families.
Melina Saris, what more do we know about these young women?
Well, Mitch, we understand they are from Melbourne's southeastern suburbs and graduated from Beaumaris Secondary College last year. They were travelling as part of a larger group. One of the girls involved works at a Cheltenham cafe, which closed its doors today as colleagues wait anxiously for a condition update.
2 young Melbourne.
Yeah, I actually know that cafe. That cafe is about a street from me. It's literally about just one street over. It's very sad. I actually saw that it was closed this morning. I didn't know that she worked there, but it was only around the corner from me. What is this girl doing? Why are we watching some girl eat pistachio? Go away. You're not true crime. Leave us alone. All right, go away, you weird Italian lady. Yeah, so it's literally just around the corner. I saw it was closed today. Had no idea why. I just learnt like you did that it's because she worked there. Yes. Very, very sad. Being that they're from literally my local area, it's awful to hear that 2 young ladies who grew up in this area, went to school here, are so ill overseas on their sort of first big girls holiday, right? It's sort of like their first adult experience away from home. They saved up the money, they went overseas. It was to have a lot of fun at the end of the school year, or after they left school, and for them to not make it home because of the 1 in a million shot that they copped a bottle that had ethanol in it and others didn't. But I can tell you this: 2 other Australian women are in hospital in the region from ethanol poisoning, along with up to another 95 people from many other countries have been poisoned with ethanol across the region. So this is not a one nightclub thing. This is a event that has spread throughout the little city. And it seems to be not just them. There's multiple people that are ill. The hospitals are overrun right now. So there is a lot of families that are very much worried about their young kids who are over in the country right now. Here, I'm just going to try find the article that had the numbers in it. Hold on. Dun, dun, dun. Here. Here, 2 Aussie teens who drank poison cocktails in Laos are identified as 19 are rushed to hospital in critical condition after happy hour at Backstreet Bar. But I'm hearing it's up to maybe another 100 people who are presented to hospitals with methanol poisoning in the region right now. They're saying authorities suspect the girls drank poison cocktails which reportedly had shots of vodka, while holidaying in the party capital of Vang Vieng. Okay. Okay. They say authorities suspect they drank the poison cocktails in Vang Vieng. They say they were among a large group of international travelers who fell victim to what is feared to be a mass poisoning, which has already killed 2 other people. The best friends were rushed to hospital before they were then believed to be evacuated to hospitals in the larger cities of Bangkok and Udon Thani in neighboring Thailand. So they've gone to bigger hospitals for more specialized care. The young women are understood to have finished school in 2023 and have been traveling Asia during their summer university break on the trip of a lifetime in a group of about 10 people. And they say they are both now on life support in separate hospitals with their parents making a mercy dash to be by their bedsides. Terrible. So these are the 2 girls. Her name is Holly, and this girl's name is Bianca. So Bianca and Holly are not doing so well right now. Look, I hope for the freaking... I just hope for a miracle for their family. I hope this whole, she's already gone. She's just on life support until her parents get there. I hope she makes some sort of miraculous breakthrough. That's, not what I want to... I don't want to hear that she dies. That is awful. I want her mum and dad to be able to get there and she be okay. I don't want them to get there just to have to turn off the machines, right? That's awful. Yeah. So there you go. Guys, 1 second. I have to make a phone call. Just 2 seconds. Hold on. All right, sorry about that. Yeah, Mrs. Ping is finishing up work, so she's like, "Do you want anything for dinner?" She's like, "Do you want me to grab something?" And I was like, "Yeah, but I can't type and do a show." It was quicker to call her and tell her what I wanted. So I was like, I'll just quickly call her. She's doing much better, by the way. She said thank you for all the nice messages. A lot of people left comments for her over the last like 48, 72 hours in the comment section and in the chat. She's very appreciative of everyone's support. She's feeling a little better today, still a little sore, still a little nauseous as well, I think, from the procedure. So back to the sofa and rest. Oh, it's a long story, but she had to go be somewhere today. She was only able to get 2 days off. So Gayla says, I suppose it can happen anywhere and any time with very cheap alcohol. I think we need more education campaigns aimed at young people going to Asia, Europe, other countries that, just because it's cheap doesn't mean it's good. And maybe sometimes it's better to pay for a brand that even though that may not save you. They could just open the bottle and put it in a Jim Beam bottle and say, hey, it's Jim Beam. But it may protect you a little bit rather than buying the $1 special for each shot or cocktail or whatever, like maybe it's worth paying the $4 per cocktail instead of the $1. Yeah, I've heard that too, that sometimes they cheat and they fill up brand name bottles. So it won't necessarily save you. But look, I hope to have some better news on those two girls tomorrow for you. I really do. I hope tomorrow we'll know more. By the way, there is a photo of, I found this as we were talking. This is Marat. This is the guy who is suspected of killing Isla Bell. This is the guy here. Does this look like your typical murderer to you? This is the guy that's on methadone. On methadone, apparently. And he's the one who is accused of killing Isla Bell. So there's a photo of him from earlier. Looks like just a dude. Probably that's the ones we always tell you to look out for, the ones that blend in. So he just looks like some random guy. Doesn't look like anything. He ain't young. He's 53. He's 53. He's not young. He probably maybe looks a bit younger than his age. He's probably very thin from all the drugs. But yeah, look, I will bring you more on both those stories tomorrow as well. By the way, I wanted to show you this. And I am in two minds about it because normally I would tell you all to get effed and I wouldn't care. Let me get rid of that. Whoops. Broke that. That's okay. They say Suzanne Simpson's daughter, Chandler, Miss Shenandla Bong, yes, speaks with celebrity psychic in podcast. What did it say? Celebrity psychic in podcast. Connect with Jonathan Mark. Who the fuck is Jonathan Mark? It's like, this stuff drives me mad. It drives me so bonkers. It's one thing to have spirituality and feel like, like that's something you enjoy doing and you feel like you get something out of it. I get that. That's cool. That's like a hobby or whatever, or a lifestyle. I understand that. But my number one pet peeve with true crime is mixing psychics with true crime. I cannot stand it. I am not a believer. Sorry. I think all it does is waste people's time. I think it's almost like you're hurting families because you give them false hope. You tell them, oh my God, it could be near a tree and some water. Mother effer, there's trees and water across 98% of the freaking globe. What are you saying? They could be in 98% of places all over the world? They're never specific. They're like, oh, they're telling me they might be near something green. What, like the grass that covers the earth? Yeah, it could be there too. I am not keen on it. I am not keen, and I think it needs to stay the F away from crime, and I cannot stand it. I hate it. Yeah, I don't know how she got roped into it. That's what I think has just happened. I think some douchebag. By the way, I wish I am going to fix our swearing button, because although half the show will just be button presses of beep, 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 but it's very hard to keep in the swear words when we talk about some subjects. Who is this absolute loser? Oh, here he is. They should, we used to call, what was that guy that was like crossing over with John Edwards or whatever? We used to always say, we used to say, oh my God, look, it's on TV. It's crossing over with Cuntface. And we'd be like, it's crossing over with Cuntface. And we'd watch it like all the time and make fun of it. He'd be like, do we have someone here who has a dad? And everyone's like, wow, yeah, I have a dad. Yeah, sure, I have one too. And everyone's looking around like, could he be more specific? And they're like, I'm seeing an old antique watch. Does any of your fathers have an old antique watch? And everyone's like, well, yes, my dad had several of those. They got passed down in generations. Like, his father gave him one. Yeah, and like 20 people raise their hands, and he's like, I'm seeing the letter R. Does this mean anything to any of you? It's like 50 people like reading out. Yeah, my show will be muted the entire time. Yeah, it would be. Rachel says her daughter has been outspoken and obviously hurting. Yes, I do agree. I think her daughter is absolutely devastated by the loss of her mother. And, I don't begrudge her whatever makes her feel better. And if by talking to this absolute charlatan, this guy, if that makes her feel better, great. But don't be giving no tips about wherever her mum is. Don't be like, I see her somewhere in the state of Texas where there might be flat ground. Like, that could be like the entire state. I see it near water. So what? She's near the Gulf? Or like what? What are you talking about? There's like bayous, there's Gulf, there's freaking rivers. Half the state's been raining for like 6 months. It's all underwater. What do you mean it's near water? You have to be more specific. The planet's covered like 98% with oceans, like, or whatever, 70%. There's water everywhere, bro. Yes. Sorry, you can tell these subjects really work me up. I mean, like I said, I have family members who are into like tarot and I don't know what they call it, like projection or whatever that crap. Great, like they're into like Reiki and stuff and like healing vibes and stuff. Great, I support them 100%. But if they ever came to me and went, Ping, I know where that dead girl is, I'd be like, no, you don't. Go home. It's fine. We'll find her, but you go home. I would just be like, don't be telling me anything. Gayla says, if there was a tiny puddle, he would say, look, I said it was near water. Do you know who says that? I'm probably going to get absolutely effing roasted for this, but there is one person that I cannot stand, and I'm probably going to lose so many subscribers. It's that Reverend lady. She's like, I solved Delphi. I told you all that it was near X, Y, and Z. And everyone's like, it's freaking Idaho. Like, everyone's got this. Like, she didn't do anything. She made some random guess and got sort of right. And now everyone's like, oh my God, every prediction she says is 100% correct. Like, no, guys, come on. If you want to believe in it, that's fine. But I still love you, I promise, but we don't have to talk about it. Yeah, I mean, I have family in that like it, and they like it as a hobby or something fun to do or something to be interested in. That's great. But I can't stand it with true crime. Reverend, what's her name? Reverend Donna, right. Yeah, can't stand her. I'm sorry. I don't call out any YouTubers. I don't think I've ever done that in my whole 500 videos, but I'm so sick of people emailing me going, check out Donna Reverend. She solved Delphi. Like, I listened to that video. I didn't hear anything that was that relatable to Delphi. She got like one detail right out of a case that has literally 50 boxes of evidence. Like, it was at Delphi or was it the kids? I can't remember. It was either the Valor children or Delphi. I can't remember which one she claims that she solved. But It might have been the Valor children. Whatever, either one. Have you seen the evidence cases for those two cases? They literally brought them in on trolley jacks. On trolley jacks. They had dudes wheeling in like 50 boxes at a time. You could pick out like one detail out of all of that and be like, I got it right. It was the Valos? Yeah. Ain't no one guessed that. No one guessed that. You know who guessed that? You know who guessed that? It was Chad's children. Chad's children guessed it. Because they saw Daddy burying a raccoon. That's what it was. Sienna says, now you're putting people down who believe in her. That's like talking politics for religion. I don't know what that means, but I'm saying if you believe in it, that's your thing. But I don't like it anywhere near true crime because I don't think it helps anyone. I think police work, real facts, putting together cases, that helps. But I've never thought that. I don't think psychics have ever helped, and that's my opinion. I just don't think so. It was JJ entirely. Sorry, I got the case wrong. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't believe, and I believe in a lot of things. Like I'm open to aliens and things like that. Maybe because we're not alone in the universe. But I don't like people who give false hope to families and stuff like that. I feel like it hurts them, and it just takes them on a journey of disappointment. Yeah, I don't know what private readings are, but I mean, it's more the people who say like, "I found a clue" and stuff like that. To me, she looks like she's confused. Sienna, if you like it, that's okay. I'm not saying you can't like it. I don't think I said that to anyone. I just said I don't believe. I don't believe it. April says I blocked that channel because it kept popping up on my homepage. Yeah. Sorry, it's just not something I can get on board with ever. You'd never heard of her. She was around for a while, like, and about 2 years ago, she really picked up in popularity. But look, more power to her. She thinks she's helping people. Go for it. I mean, but it's just not something we'll ever do on this channel. I don't believe. And it says Mark is a celebrity psychic medium who claims during the interview that Susan is speaking to him. You tell me the location of where she is, and then I'll believe. You tell me exactly where she is and the police go find her, I'll believe. 100%. I'll change everything. I'll put out an apology video. You tell me, because I'm guessing the one thing Suzanne Simpson would like to do is to be buried in a proper location, in a cemetery. They're saying here, Chandler's father, Brad Simpson, was officially charged with murder. We know that. But look, like I said, if it brings her daughter some sort of peace and makes her feel like less traumatized with her mother's death, I can get on board with that because I feel like her daughter's really hurting, and she's put out a bunch of different stuff, attacking certain people and the community, and but I don't think she means it. I think it's more just anger at the situation that her mum's missing. They obviously lived through a very violent father, and that they can't find the mum. And I don't blame her for lashing out. She must feel very frustrated. But if this gives her some peace, then sure. But I struggle if they were like, she's at 35A Street under the pergola. No. I'm not making fun of them. I'm saying that I've never seen anything definitive. That's the example I was making. I wasn't making fun of people. I said I have family members that are all into it. They are all into it. They're all into the Reiki and tarot and going to conventions, and they go out on the weekends and they do it at our family dinners, and I let them practice on me reluctantly, but I let them because they're family. Angela says that there are people I believe that do have abilities that don't seek out people from crimes. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not a believer of helping in true crime. I think it's a fantasy, and like I can tell you this: there was over $1 million on reward for 25 years. 25 years for anyone that could demonstrate their abilities properly in a scientific test, and no one claimed the reward in 25 years. No one. No one. No, I don't think you stepped on anyone's toes. I thought I offended you, and I was like, I'm sorry about that because I really like you, and I was like, I don't want to make you upset, but it just upsets me. Like this woman is still missing, right? She's out there somewhere around Almost Park and that area. This does, in my opinion, this might help Chandler Simpson, like personally, but I don't think it helps with shit with her mum's case. I don't think it helps with anything. Nothing, not even 1%. And that woman is still going to continue to be missing. And I'd rather find her. That's my thing. I'd rather try and do whatever we could to try and find her and bring her home to her family so her daughter can not stop hurting, but have more answers, because she'll never stop hurting. I don't think she'll ever get over what happened to her mum. But yeah, I don't know. This kind of stuff just frustrates me sometimes. Yeah, no, you're fine. Yeah, good. By the way, I'll repeat, I wasn't making fun. I was just saying, like, that's the way I see it. Yeah, it's just not my thing, and I don't like it near true crime. People who do it on their own or whatever, great. I think it's great that people have hobbies and stuff like that. But not near true crime. I don't get it. I don't get it. Unless someone can show me something where there's been some real, like, it's really helped somehow, and people have been like, stood up in court and demonstrated their ability, and they went, "Oh my God, it was before us all along. If we didn't have this person's help, we would never have solved the case." As far as I know, I don't think that's ever happened in that way. I've heard police stations have brought them on before, but I don't think they've actually ever solved anything. I think they've been brought on out of desperation a few times. Yeah. So I wanted to show you that, because otherwise there's no news about Susan, and it sucks. Wait, what did this say? Suzanne Simpson's home may be sold as missing realtor's husband remains behind bars in murder case. Susan and Brad Simpson lived in, they got that home. It looks like a church or something. Yeah, there it is. It looks, I don't know what kind of home you call this, but it's got like a big, what is that? Like a fireplace, like a big fireplace. Why would they sell her home? Missing Texas realtor Suzanne Simpson's home reportedly may be sold. Why? A relative revealed that her husband remains behind bars on murder charge after her disappearance. Okay. But why would they sell her home? What? Brad Simpson's brother, Barton Simpson. We're out of Barton license plates. I repeat, we're out of Barton license plates. Told the outlet that the home may go up for sale possibly next year. Why though? The family will not be residing there, and we need to get it cleaned up so it can be rented or sold. We are helping the children move in that direction. What kind of direction? Like out of the home direction? Susan and Brad Simpson lived in the Almost Park home with two of their children aged 5 and 15. Since the start of the investigation, reports about an abusive marriage has surfaced, painting a detailed picture of what took place behind the walls of their home in months leading up to Susan's disappearance. Yes. On the night of October 6th, a neighbor directly across the street witnessed. Yeah, we know all this. I'm not going to repeat it. The Simpsons' 5-year-old child told a school counselor that on the evening of October 6th, Brad allegedly pushed her mother against a wall, hit her physically in the face, and hurt her mother's elbow inside the residence, and also turned off her mother's phone because they were fighting. Why would you turn off the phone so she couldn't record it? A couple of months prior to that, Suzanne Simpson told her personal banker that she was being physically abused by her husband and that he would commonly take her cell phone away and that if she went missing to look for her in a lake. What lake, Susan? Tell us. Wait, maybe the psychic knows. Susan also told the banker that her husband would tell her children that she had lost her cell phone after he had taken it from her. What an asshole. They're saying just weeks before the disappearance, Brad sent a text message to a female writing, I still feel bad about tonight. I never should have grabbed her phone and drove off, but she was so protective of it. Yeah, she's protective of it because you're abusive, dumbass. My dumbass didn't know her passcode, so I got locked out and had to bring it back. Oh, that would have been a great conversation. Oh, I tried to get into your phone, but I didn't know the passcode. Now your phone's locked. Here's your phone. Can you unlock it? I really have no interest in looking through her phone. No? Then why'd you take it? Or anybody else's? Alright, buddy. Those devices are the devil. I don't think that's where the devil's residing, Brad. I think he might be residing with you. You're the one allegedly who killed their wife. I don't think it was the telephone. I don't think the cell phone killed your wife. They're saying the Simpsons' 20-year-old daughter has publicly expressed her own thoughts on the case. Chandler Simpson wrote on Instagram, my mother was a victim of abuse from my father. My father took my mother's life in a state of rage and control. He has that kind of face, yes. In our community, this should not be happening, and I will not stop speaking out as the voice of my mother until she is found. I hope so, my friend. I hope so, Chandler. What? Hold on, guys. What the F? Oh, it's your mother effer. Arrgh. Sorry, it was like something that Mrs. Ping messaged me. I asked her to do something, and then she's like, "Oh, that's not how it is here." And I'm like, "Ah, yeah, Bart Simpson. We were running out of Bart license plates to pay for his lawyer." Yeah, that's sad. Are you allowed to do that? Can you sell marital property if you killed your wife and then fund your own defense? Normally, they apply to have that taken, right? It's sort of like a punishment, like, hey, you did the crime and you ain't going to take marital property to pay for your own defense. Gambler says the late Sylvia Brown was one of the worst. I'm glad you all agree with me. I like it. I like it. I knew you're all smart people. I knew that. April B says this Brad guy reminds me of Barry Morphew in some ways. He does, doesn't he, right? He always has like the Barry Morphew look. The Barry Morphew look of like, I have BS dribbling from the side of my mouth syndrome. TM. Kaliza says, I hope he can't do that, but he is presumed innocent, I guess. It is true. I'm not sure how that works under proceeds of crime. I would have to ask. I'd have to look that up. I'm not sure. That's a good question. Gayla says, then he should rent it out as it's not his. Right, it's not his. It's 50% his wife's, even though he allegedly killed his wife. I'm not sure they would get a good price now as they think she may have been killed there. She was killed there, apparently. So, yeah, it's now a murder home. And if you sell that, you must disclose it in the sales process. You must tell them that any big events had happened in the home. At least that's the rule here. I don't know about Texas, but I know in LA they have to tell you. I don't know about Texas though. So I don't know if in Texas you can buy a home and then after that you buy it, they're like, oh, and by the way, if glasses start to levitate or plates get thrown or doors slam, you know, like there was a quadruple murder here like 10 years ago, but it's all good. You'll be fine. Have fun with the house. See you later. Bye. Morphew, did he sell that home that he allegedly killed Susan in? I didn't know that. I mean, I haven't followed it in a long time. There's someone who knows a lot about it, but I haven't seen them in ages. They used to come in here every now and then, but I haven't seen them in a while. She might have been killed outside the house. Well, either way, property, house, same deal. I think she was killed near the property. Don't know if that means inside of it, but she was killed somewhere near it. Same. Oh, really? And we still don't have charges over that either. They've got her body. They know it's her, but they royally screwed that case up so badly that they know if they try and file charges again, unless they've got a smoking gun, they're done. They are done. They will never get a conviction of Barry Morphew unless they literally have him saying on tape, "Oh yeah, I killed Suzanne because she was a bitch and she was going to leave me for some hot guy that was bending her over on a Thursday." Like they need like that. That's what they need. They need him confessing, basically. Angela says she was missing when he sold it and he went to stay with his girlfriend, I think. Look, there was some marital stuff going on both sides on that family. Doesn't condone that he allegedly killed her. Just saying that both of them were playing outside of the relationship. So I'm not going to blame Barry for having a girlfriend. It has to go both ways, to be fair. April says, I think Alex Murdoch sold his too. Yeah, he's a jerk. Have you seen his face? Yeah, that case is a mess, 100%. Sienna says in Arizona, you have to let the new owners or renters know if a death happened in the house. in 1901, my great-grandmother died here. She's great. Don't worry about her too much. She just likes to watch you while you're sleeping. You'll be fine. Just remember, leave some chamomile tea out every second Wednesday to keep her happy. She'll be fine. That prosecutor calls the case to probably never be charged. 1000%. There is a good chance that they will never charge again in Barry Morphew. They need a smoking gun. If they can't get it, their case will fall apart because he has deniable plausibility with the first case. Any good defense attorney will tear the state apart, saying, "You already brought these charges once against my client. Like, you're going to do it again and fail?" It would be just a mess. I don't know. They need more. That's probably why we haven't seen anything. Gayla says, I rented a very old house in Hertfordshire, and I know the old man died there. Why? Did he talk to you? Did he like a full body apparition? And then he told you he died there? Like, what happened? You have to tell me. All right. What else we got on our list? What else is going on? Suzanne Simpson and the stupidity. Yeah, we did that. Prosecutors arrest today in the Laken Riley murder case. Yeah, we could do that. I want to check in Hannah Kobayashi as well. Did we get any new information in Hannah? Family searches for relative. I don't think there's been that much on Hannah, but we'll check into it. Hold on, let's check into Laken Riley. Yeah. Yeah, all right. Let's go to 11 Alive in Atlanta.
To 11 Alive News at 4. I'm Jonathan Martin.
And I'm Jennifer Bellamy in for Faith Jesse. A wet and soggy day for us across Metro Atlanta, and we're wondering if we're going to have to deal with more rain.
Yeah, we've had a bit already today. Let's, in fact, take a live look over Midtown right now from our camera there. You can see that if, maybe not in that picture, but if you're outside, you know that there is still some rain out there. And another round of rain could also impact your commute tonight and in the morning. So let's turn over to meteorologist Melissa Nord with our weather impact forecast.
Yeah, it has definitely been a soggy day out there. In fact, over 1.5 inches of rain here in Atlanta. I think that for the most part, a lot of us are going to be winding down this evening with that accumulating rain, but still a little bit of shower activity continues overnight. But 1.57 inches as of 3 o'clock today. A little bit more rain still falling, though, in Atlanta. You can see that right now along and south of I-20. Notice, though, to the west, there are some more areas of shower.
believe they have shown enough evidence to convict Jose Ibarra of murder and several other charges in the death of 22-year-old Laken Riley from last February. 11 Alive's Grace King is following this trial closely for us and joins us live now from Athens. So great, Grace, what happens right now that the state is done? They've rested their case.
The defense has started calling witnesses of its own to paint a different picture of what happened the day Laken Riley was killed. They disagreed with a lot of the timeline that state prosecutors laid out this morning, specifically who was in it.
Were you able to see, first of all, gloves?
Yes.
Were you able to see a cup?
Yes.
Can you see a bag?
Yes, I can.
Surveillance video from February 22nd shows someone lurking around this building.
And can you see him open the door here?
Yes.
At 7:54.
Yes.
And what does he do right there at 7:54?
He is ducking down.
Investigators believe it's Jose Ibarra around 7:30 that morning, just an hour and a half before he encountered Laken Riley.
Says good morning, about to go for a run. If you're free to talk.
Laken's mom cried in the courtroom as they read her worried texts. She instantly knew something was wrong.
Text message from her mother saying, "You're making me nervous. Not answering while you're out running. Are you okay?"
Now, the defense said that Jose's brother Diego frequented the bus stop in those earlier surveillance videos. That's part of the argument they plan to make this afternoon. Right now, court is on a break, but it's expected to come back to figure out which witnesses the defense has left. Live in
I suspect we're probably going to get a good result for this particular one. Laken Riley's death was horrific, and you know, as a male who I exercise quite a lot. I can't imagine the fear it must be for a woman to leave the home. Like, I have enough fear leaving the home, and I'm 6'2". I can't imagine what it'd be like to be a 50-kilo woman who's 5'1", to leave the house and think that every guy that she passes is gonna throw her into the bushes and SA her. Like, I don't know what that type of living with that type of fear is like, but I'm sure, judging by those text messages, that Laken Riley had an innate sense for that feeling, and she knew it was about to happen. And unfortunately, this absolute, just, there's no words to describe what he did to her. There really isn't. He's a predator, like an actual apex humanic predator. Like that, that's what they do. They hunt for victims, and that's what he did. He was like, "Oh, my mommy told me about all these, you know, loose white women that are in friggin' America. Let me go and get some, forcibly." I know, poor girl. Ugh. There's a bunch of problems with his brother testifying because he's in federal custody. Surprise! What a surprise! You know, I'm not anti-immigration. A lot of my family comes to Australia through immigration. A lot of my family lives in America, actually, which I don't know if I've ever told you. I think I might have briefly told you. A lot of my family lives in Arizona, actually, through immigration from Europe. And I believe in immigration, but I believe in legal immigration, doing it properly, waiting your turn, and when you come in, you make the most of it because you know how hard it was to get there. This type of stuff, we've seen so many cases this year of girls being victimized by people. There's so many famous ones I could pick up, but there was a young little girl in Texas. There was the one we all know in LA, a little girl molested in her home. Her mom was sexually molested too. And then that same guy went off and killed a woman. So there's been heaps. I can't remember. Sorry. The Ping's a great true crime host. He has all the details. I can't remember why, but he is. Yep. I agree. I don't believe in open border policy. Not at all. I think it's killing our countries, all of our countries. I believe in people being able to come to our countries to better them, right? Like, or some humanitarians. So, like, if you're in a war zone where they're like, you literally can't stay here because they blew up your entire block, and there are no houses anymore. Like, I get it that you need to go to a different country because there are no places for you to live. I get it. That's fine. I just don't agree. Like in Australia, one of our big problems is people come here via boat. They come in through Indonesia, so they come through Asia or India or Pakistan or other places in Europe, and then they make their way into Indonesia, and then they pay these human traffickers to put them on boats, and then they travel through the Tasman Sea down into Australia, and then just land on the beach and run away. It's crazy, and our country has tried very hard to stop it because a bunch of them have died trying to make that crossing, and that's the thing. We don't want people to die, but we also don't want people to come here when they're not supposed to be here either. Guys, hold on a sec. Sorry, I thought that was Mrs. Ping for some reason. Oh, I don't know. I thought that was Mrs. Ping. April B says legally, it has to be done legally. I agree. Oh, okay. Thank you. I couldn't remember what it was. Yeah, arrested for something with a minor under 17 in New York. And then we had that other one in New York. Do you remember there was a girl who was R-worded in a park in New York by an illegal immigrant? If you watch him in court, I don't see anything, no remorse. No, there is no remorse. Same with the two guys in Texas. Newgary? Is that her last name? Newgary? That's not how you say it. Is that how you say it? Newgary? That girl in Texas, they have no remorse here. None. Zero. Like, not even 1%. They took her under a bridge. Like, tied her up, sodomized her, and R-worded her under a bridge for hours, and then decided to just, strangle her. And then threw her into the river. Like she was some sort of trash. Gross. Yeah. How do you say that last name? Newgary or? Oh, Nungaray. Sorry. I was close. I was missing an N. Yeah, Jocelyn. That's her name. Jocelyn. And they ended up confirming that she was SA'd. As you can see here, SA confirmed. Family opposes death penalty. What? I think you should ask them again in like 6 months' time. They're saying, with the sexual assault now confirmed, the question of capital punishment arises, yet with Alvarenga and his family are against it for the suspected killers, asserting a wish for a different kind of lifelong remembrance. I want them to remember Jossie for the rest of their life. I want every time they go to sleep, they remember what they did and show the others, you don't mess with our kid. You don't mess with the United States. You don't mess with Texas. If that's their wishes, fair enough. But I don't think they're going to learn the lesson you hope they do. And I think scaring them by keeping them on death row for about 10 years would be way funner. And I think it would give them a way bigger lesson than just being like, have fun with your life in prison. They just get used to life in prison like it's some sort of secondary life. I don't think they would learn that lesson at all. Yeah. Yeah, they haven't had this one yet either. I never saw this, the funeral for Jocelyn.
The beginning of funeral services.
Oh, it's like an hour long. Jeez. Was it a nice funeral? I hope it was. A lot of people came out to speak for her. God, do you think, like, how many times have even we as kids snuck out of the house to go to, like, the local 7-Eleven and get a Slurpee or something, right? And that's basically what she did. And she ended up in a drainage canal with no underwear because she wanted to go get a Slurpee from 7-Eleven. That's it. Because she wanted to be a little bit rebellious. That's it. And now we get to watch a video of all her great life moments up until the age of 12. It's extremely sad. Extremely. What a sweet girl. It seems like it was a very pretty funeral. There's her mum thanking people. That's not her mum, that's her grandma, I think. Thanking people. It seemed like it was a nice service for her. I didn't get to see it at the time. Maryland? I don't know if I've ever watched a trial out of Maryland. Colorado, Idaho, New York, Florida, Texas, California, Arizona. I don't think I've ever watched a trial out of Maryland. Although I am actually signed up. Wait, is this Maryland? Let me check something for you. No, is this Maryland? What country is this? Or what county? I'm signed up to, like, the police. They have, like, a police blotter that goes out, like, every so often, like sometimes 3 times a day, sometimes once a week. What is it called though? I can't seem to find. Oh yeah, here. Maryland State Police. Yeah, so it is Maryland. I'm signed up to, like, they have, like, a news release. It's like a blotter, like a police blotter, and they release it through the communication center, and I get updates out of Maryland, like, daily. But I haven't seen anything about a trial, and I've been signed up to that thing for a while, but maybe. NY doesn't stream? If it's a federal case, you probably won't see it, maybe. A scanner? No, it's not a scanner. It's like, I'll show you. If I can. Yeah, Maryland. Yeah, I'll take a screenshot of one of the ones I got last week. It's just like news releases. This didn't turn out that well, but that's okay. I'll show you. Here we go. See, Maryland News Release, Maryland State Police, Maryland Car Rally Task Force and law enforcement partners arrest Baltimore co-man in connection with Philadelphia takeover. So I get, like, stuff like this, like, every day from Maryland. Hold on, guys, 1 second. All right, I'm going to have to get out of here. Mrs. Ping is not too far away, so I'm going to have to go help her. Hey, I'll be back tomorrow for another late show. and we'll have a lot of fun. I was able to finally remove the ending video, and we have a new one getting put up tomorrow. So thank God it's finally fixed. It was broken for like a month. I've just got to get my ass into gear and do the new one. So I will see you. I will see you tomorrow. BC says, have you seen any updates on the guy that unalived Maria Gonzalez, the 11-year-old in Texas? Oh, was she the one that was found in the like car park area of like? I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, Juan Carlos Garcias Rodriguez. He was the one who killed the 11-year-old and found her body in Pasadena in Texas, right? I have not heard anything since August, like last year. Yeah, I haven't heard anything in freaking ages. Just that he was held without bond, and other than that, I know she was found under a bed. Okay, I was thinking of a different one. I haven't heard anything about that one. I don't know. I'll check into it overnight for you. Under her bed. Sorry, I was thinking about a different one where a guy shot a woman and left the car and another woman in some public forest in Texas. But yeah. I will check tomorrow for you into the Gonzalez one, okay? And thanks for sticking with me. I'll see in the morning how many people I pissed off with my rant earlier about psychics. Probably like about 50 subscribers, maybe more, maybe like 500. We'll see how many people I upset. And I'll see you tomorrow, okay? We'll be back for another late show tomorrow. Yeah, let me know how it's going. These seem to have been doing pretty well. Up until tonight. Tonight was the quietest one we've done in about 5 days. I'm not sure why. But the other ones had done really well. So I will see you tomorrow. I will see you tomorrow at the same time. And hopefully we'll have updates on the girls in... well, they're in Bangkok now, but in Asia. Hopefully they'll pull through. I'll tell you more about the arrested people who were murdered for that girl in Melbourne. And hopefully we'll have some updates about Hannah Kobayashi. Hopefully we'll have more updates about Hannah tomorrow, because it doesn't look like there was very many updates today at all. So yeah, there's no real good updates about it today. So hopefully tomorrow. And then yeah, I'll bring you more true crime tomorrow, okay? Hey, I do love you all, no matter what you believe in. I do. Even if we can't agree on everything, doesn't mean we can't be friends. It just means some of the things we believe in don't match, but that doesn't matter. That's why we don't do politics here. And I will see you tomorrow. Thank you to all the people that support this show. And if you too want to get into the raffle for the graffiti hoodie, there is links in the description. I put them in there tonight. If you want to enter $5 per entry, and I'll get you into that for you. We're drawing that December 14th. We are drawing that. So I will see you then. Good night. Bye-bye.